Welcome to the Wilcox Performing Arts Center. Before we start the performance, we would like to make you aware of a few auditorium etiquette procedures. Please take a moment before the performance to silence and darken all cell phones and other electronic devices. As a courtesy of respect for the performers and audience members, refrain from reading or sending text messages, as well as taking flash and video photography during the performance. Please wait for applause before leaving or returning to your seats. We have wonderful acoustics in our home. Even the quietest of whispers can be heard and can be distracting to the performers and your fellow audience members. We hope you enjoy the performance and thank you for attending.
Good evening. My name is Kurt Kissinger. I'm the middle school band director here along with Dave Rich and then also Nick Liebel, our high school band director. And this is our 5th grade band. Before we perform our last piece, I'd like to draw your attention to a couple things. In your program, the very back side of the back page has information on our summer lesson program. We are fortunate to have supports in place for making band very strong in Algona. And one of our supports is this summer band lesson program. Students will get 4 lessons in over the summer. We start June 23rd, and students will get lessons once a week for 4 weeks. The important part of this information, I'll let you get into the details of it, but this form and a $40 payment are due to me by this Friday. And then what I'll do is probably Monday, I'll put together a lesson schedule and get that out to students and to parents before the end of the school year, which is quickly approaching. So we encourage students to participate in that. It's something great that we have here in Algona. The other thing I'd like to do before we play our last piece, we had our first and only honor band available for 5th graders. It happened on April 26th over in Mason City. It's called the River City Honor Band. And we had a number of 5th grade students selected for this. So when I say your name, would you come on up, grab a certificate? Let's hold our applause to the end to recognize them. We have Katie Ennin on the horn, Caleb Firstenow on percussion, Addie Heyer on alto sax, Hannah Jensen on the clarinet, Bailey Merkel on the clarinet, Jace Merkel on the trombone, Isaac Orban on tuba, Kinley Penning on trombone, and Haley Wickendall on clarinet. Let's give them a round of applause. part of our River City Honor Band. It's an honor band for 5th graders and 6th graders. So we had some 6th graders participate in the same honor band who were selected from Algona. So let's recognize these students right now. We have Jax Elbert, bass clarinet, Matthew Hart, oboe, Rosalind McGregor, clarinet, and Colin Throne on percussion. Let's give him a round of applause. They liked that applause. You guys can sit down now. Okay, I'll give you 2 brief things before we're done here. Obviously you know that this is a 6 o'clock concert because you're here. At 7:15, our 7th and 8th grade band will be putting on a separate program. We split that up because 7th and 8th grade band has 7 pieces they'll be performing tonight. And it's the same 7 pieces that they'll be taking to the Iowa Bandmasters Conference in Des Moines on Thursday. They were selected as the top middle school band in Class 3A and 4A from the entire state. And so they get to do that. It's a great honor. It's the first time in Algona history. The future for Algona bands is bright. We have a lot of really good talent, a lot of hard workers coming up, including our 6th grade band, including our 5th grade band. I do want to say a couple thank yous. First would be to our music staff. We have a great team here in Marisa Merkel and Jill Adam Orban, in Todd Herbstalmer, and then my 2 band teammates, Nick Liebel at the high school and Dave Rich, who's been with me at the middle school. It's an outstanding team. Music staff, thank you very much. And then the other recognition I would like to offer is to our music boosters. The VIPs, the vocal and instrumental promoters, have done a ton to support us for many, many years. We have top facilities, top equipment, top support. So I want to say thank you to our VIPs. Let's give them a round of applause. We have one more piece at the conclusion of that. You are free to go. You are also free to stick around if you'd like to check out the 7th and 8th grade band. That concert will start at 7:15. Have a good evening.